Hi, my name is Corrine Romp, and I'm going to be pretty vulnerable today about an event that happened in my life 26 years ago. And the reason I share this, I'm not very quiet about this event. It's been something that has definitely consumed my life for the last 26 years. And that is when you figure out what your purpose is, you need to do it. And part of my purpose in this lifetime is to simply be a support to my brother. My brother was wrongfully convicted of second-degree murder in 2000. He has spent, well, since 1998, all of that time in prison. His wife, Jodi Lee Franz, went missing on April 7th, 1994. And 1994 was one of those years I can look back in my life and go, what the hell did happen? Holy. It started with my father-in-law passing away, my husband and I having difficulty in our marriage, 3 kids, 27 years old I was at the time, and decided that alcohol was a good way to treat the entire thing. Just in case you're wondering, I did have a little bit of fun with that, but eventually it didn't work out so well. It's very interesting how that goes. The only thing that actually seemed to help me at the time was hypnosis. And so it's interesting that that's what I do now, and not surprising, because when you find something that actually works, you tend to want to know more about it. And I did. But at the time in 1994, even my father said, this is going to be an interesting ride. And 26 years later, we're still in the battle. But it looks like we're coming close. We're coming closer to the end of this battle, which is very great. The key to this is, as we go through this corona pandemic, the thing to remember is that this too shall pass. You've all gone through things that have created something that was interesting, for sure, challenging to say the least, and you survived. And that's the thing that we got to remember, is that we have survived everything up until now. So we're going to survive. And I keep looking at the worldometer, and I look at the worldometer and I go, wow. I look at the deaths though. I don't look at the recovery. So let's all start looking at the recoveries, not the deaths. If we're going to look at how many people have recovered, and let's focus our attention on their recoveries, because that's what's going to get us through. I was pretty much the victim to circumstances back in 1994. I blamed everyone. I trusted no one. Even in 1998, I can remember an RCMP officer, undercover, quote unquote, I think they did that just to piss me off, came into my AA meeting, and he was really bad, really, really bad. I mean, his eyes were completely white. Nice white t-shirt, and he got out of the drunk tank at 4 o'clock in the morning. And this was at 6:30 in the morning. And I went, for sure, you're an idiot. Get out. So it's an interesting thing, how I was compared to where I am today. Where I am today, I can tell the story, and I'm going to tell it with some dramatic flair, because, you know, it's pretty dramatic. The whole thing started when I was 6 years old. So it's interesting how this has evolved. And if I had to plan it, there's no way I could plan it on my own. It's just amazing how many people had to be involved. So first of all, rest in peace, Jodi. She definitely didn't have an easy life, that's for sure. I've talked to several of her siblings, and they did not have an easy life. They did not have an easy upbringing. Their father was an RCMP officer, not a nice person. Stepmother, not a nice person, not at all. And so all of these things added up to a whole storm for Jodi. I mean, Jodi didn't really have a chance. I remember her telling me that she was drunk at 7 and stoned at 9. I just look at my grandkids and go, is that even possible? So it's a very interesting thing, an interesting life. And I really do feel sorry for her. I mean, she definitely missed out on a great life. My brother, you know, the in-laws took his kids, and I never got to see my nephews. So Christopher Ryan Franz, if you ever get to see this video, you were never forgotten. We just didn't know where you were. They moved you, and we didn't know. So anytime that you want to come and talk to me, you come and let me know. And Michael Cataret, that goes for you too. I no longer am here to defend my brother. That was an interesting thing that happened for me, that release probably in about 2006, where I was no longer the sister of a convicted murderer. I was simply Corinne, who had a brother that she got to support, that her part of her purpose in this lifetime was to support him. And I talked to him, 2 times a week. So he is the nicest person you'll ever meet. And when he gets out, hopefully you get an opportunity to meet him. He's just an incredible person who has helped many people in prison. You see, that event actually changed my life of my family. I can't even imagine what my father went through. And I look at my children and I go, if they were to ever have that happen, it would be like, wow, I don't even know how I would do that. And my father, quite an amazing gentleman who has been through nothing but pain from his own family. His own family has not been very nice to him most of the time. And, having to go through this with his own son, with little support from his own family, that's quite incredible. Quite an incredible testament to him. So as we go through this pandemic, family is important. That was the one thing that I definitely got nailed home going through this event with my brother, is that family is important. Family matters. And that no matter what, I remember saying to my brother when this all started, is if you did this, then you need to just fess up to it and pay the piper, buddy. Because, we didn't come from a criminal family. And so to support him has been an absolute privilege, but also something that allowed me to learn so much about myself and about the workings of the human mind. So as we go through this pandemic, support your family. If everybody supported their family, we wouldn't need support. That is the truth. We all are good at something. Use that. Use that to support. And when you do, it'll all come back to you a millionfold. That is what's true. As a result of that event, my one brother is an employment counselor. I am a hypnotherapist. I have my own training center, in Coquitlam. And Glen spends his time in prison helping people. He works in the chapel. He works and he just does nothing but support people. And all he wants to do is reunite with his sons. That's very important to him. It's like he's closed that part off. Imagine not being able to see your kids for 20 years. It's quite an amazing thing of what he has missed. The person who did kill Jodi, and she was murdered, her body was never found. They get to, however that works out, it is fine. I no longer have a need to know or a need and even a care. I just know that it was not my brother who did that, which is a very interesting thing. I look back at the last 26 years, and you could write a movie on the things that have happened, the things that our justice system, which isn't very just, it's a legal system that if you have a good lawyer, you simply can get away with anything. I mean, just in Abbotsford here, a gentleman shot somebody in his front yard and he spent 6 years in prison, which is very interesting why my brother is spending 22 years in prison for something he didn't do. But that's part of our legal system. So anyway, a little bit of insight into me and how this has definitely shaped not only my career, but also my whole family, and how it's kind of split off some of us, and how it's brought some of us together. Hopefully this pandemic, you're going to learn a lot about, first of all, cooking, because you can't go out. It's only essential services, which I think is always so funny, right? But the other thing is that how, what support really looks like, what support really, what it really means. Support doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to send you loving energy and then do nothing. That's nice that you're sending loving energy, but that's not all what people need. If we supported our family, period, and people that were close to us, there would be no need for food banks or services of that nature if we all took responsibility for our own family. So think about that for just a minute. Just think about how that could actually support. Anyway, I am excited to see what's going to happen in the next month. I have a funny feeling we've got some pretty amazing things coming. We've all been through stuff, and we made it, and we're going to make this one too. Have yourself an amazing, amazing week. I know it's Easter coming up, and Easter is all about rebirth, the rising of things the rights of the wrong. So enjoy this time obviously we're going to be social distancing with the Easter. That's going to be an interesting thing to have an Easter egg hunt. However, I think we're going to have one anyway. So anyhow, have yourself a great Easter. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.